Sakshi Jethi. So Miss Sakshi is the managing director of Rxcruit, which is a global healthcare search firm. She is a Wharton Business School alumni and has over 2 decades of experience in human resource and operations across various leading healthcare organizations. She has recently won the prestigious Woman Icon of the Year 2019 by Economic Times. So Sakshi, as you had emphasized in the last webinar on the importance of compassionate leadership in the times of crisis and how the COVID-19 crisis does not necessarily have to lead to employee layoffs, how can employers communicate and share the pain with their employees at this time? How can we practice compassionate leadership? Because if you see all the previous panelists, I think before you are talking about having compassion while dealing with this crisis. This is an unprecedented crisis, even much larger and severe in economic terms than Great Depression that the world has seen. And I think it's a very serious crisis that we all are facing. But in this crisis, how do we practice compassionate leadership is what we want to understand from you. Over to you, Sakshi.
First of all, thank you, Mr. Gaurav, IHLF, and my co-panelists for giving me an opportunity to share my thoughts in such a prestigious forum. I will start with a quote by the Dalai Lama, where he rightly said that if you want to be happy, practice compassion. And if you want others to be happy, then also practice compassion. So it is a very important time where compassion is required, and it will be an important manifestation of leadership. Compassion is not empathy. We all need to understand that there is a difference between compassion and empathy. So compassion is defined as empathy plus action. Compassion is putting yourself in the shoes of other person and seeing the world through their lens and then taking an action. Managing compassionately is not just a better way to build a team, but it is also a better way to build a company. What we are all hearing is that many companies are considering layoffs as their main strategy of cost optimization to ensure their survival through the crisis. A cost-cutting reflex is definitely understandable, and leaders are obligated to make responsible decisions to keep their companies afloat. But we humbly request you to exhaust all other options before you lay off even a single employee. Those leaders who manage the economic effects of this crisis in a clear and compassionate way will create more values for their companies, and they will come out to be much stronger in this pandemic situation. So before announcing layoffs, we would recommend that you consider these measures first. First, as everybody has been saying, Badri also said, Achal ma'am also very clearly said, communicate openly. Many leaders assume that if they admit that the company is facing a turbulent time, it will scare away its best of the employees. But today, everybody understands that there is a problem. We are into a pandemic situation. It can lead to financial chaos. So instead of forcing your employees to second guess, be utterly clear with them about the financial health of your firm and what goals you want to prioritize. They will all understand because everybody is educated. They all understand what is required. Secondly, I would like to highlight is share the pain. It is very important that if you are doing cutbacks to save jobs, you must lead by an example. As a CEO, it is, I think it is much required that you should take the largest salary cut yourself, because that will help save many jobs. We've seen it across industries. It is happening in many airlines and other companies, but it is the need of the hour, because a salary of a CEO will encompass the salary of many employees. Second, then the third most important thing is we can consider crowdsourcing ideas with the employees. Unleashing their collective wisdom will require compassionate leadership. It can be overwhelming to open the floor for ideas from employees on what the company should do. But in our experience, it will be critical that you ask your employees to voice their ideas. By this way, you will not lose control. It will actually enhance your standing as a leader, because they will be happy that their ideas are being welcomed and they are being heard too. It is very, very important to communicate to the employees, be very open, be very practical. What I will like is review all the options, even maybe the less conventional ones. Before layoff, consider all the non-obvious options for cost reductions, like maybe a 4-day week work, half time work for some employees. They might agree to work half time if they understand that that might save jobs of many other employees. You can also offer employees an opportunity for unpaid leaves if they wish to do that. You can consider deaccelerating pay decreases for lower salary ranges to protect these employees who are most vulnerable. So maybe if you have a tendency, then the people who are getting the lower salary can be considered in a 10% salary cut, and the senior employees can go up to 30 or 35%, depending on the company policy. And I will again like to highlight, again, I'm saying in this webinar, loyalty is a two-way street. When you treat the employees well, they will definitely reciprocate to the organization and to the employer. Very, very important. And I'll say last but not the least, have ice in the belly. Being a leader in the turbulent time can be actually nerve-wracking. If you act too fast, it might turn out to be overreacted. If you act too slow, then the business might go under. So it would be wise to have what is a Swedish saying, that is in Magen, that is ice in the belly, roughly translated as your ability to keep cool in such a critical situation. The COVID-19 situation, we all know, is unprecedented time. It is full of uncertainties, and leaders are struggling to find the right solution as the context changes almost every hour. No more than ever, leaders need to draw upon all available resources, most particularly their people, utilizing their collective intelligence of experience and knowledge while adapting and revising solutions as the situations unfolds. I would finally like to conclude by saying a distinctive feature of enduring companies is the way their leaders react to moments like these. You should avoid false optimism, be clinically realistic, and act decisively as circumstances change. Demonstrate compassionate leadership. Your team actually needs this during this stressful time, and you will be able to touch the lives of your employees in an extraordinary way. And it will help you come out of this potential slowdown stronger than ever before, enhancing the shared values of your staff. That's it from my side. Thank you very much.
Excellent points, Sakshi. I think fantastic points that you have put across, and some of them which have clearly, immediately key takeaways, which I feel is, one is empathy is not equal to compassion. And I think that is a very, very important point. Compassion is equal to empathy plus action. So you need to actually keep yourself into the feet of other people and actually look at the situation. And second, I think this I will use in my future maybe discussions, that we don't require right now fire in the belly, but ice in the belly. So I think the mindfulness, the compassion that we require in today's crisis will build a long-term loyalty in our workforce. They are all looking at us. They are looking, is the first cost cutting, cost optimization measure is the easiest one, which is layoff, or companies exhausting all other resources and then looking it as a last option. So this is a very tough time, and you have said very clearly that leaders also have to take accountability. They have to be very realistic, clinically realistic. So I think you are not saying that it cannot be an option. It can be an option, but after we exhaust all other options. So fantastic talk, and I think we are really grateful to have you on this panel. So now we move on.